All right, let's talk about the hidden connections, the ones between the tech you use every single day and the global war machine.
You know, this quote from strategist Alexei Allen just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures this grand illusion we've been living in. For decades, we were told that tech founders were these visionaries building a better world for all of us. But behind the scenes, a very, very different story was playing out. Because the truth is, the line between Silicon Valley and the Pentagon hasn't just been blurred, it's been completely erased. The tools of convenience have become the tools of conflict.
So let's start with the companies you know, the ones you probably use every day. We're talking about the titans of tech. Take OpenAI, the people who brought us ChatGPT. Their original mission was, well, pure idealism. But then, in 2024, they quietly went in and deleted their ban on military applications, and almost immediately, they started landing major Pentagon contracts, right alongside companies like Google. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means the same friendly AI that can write you a poem can also sift through huge amounts of intelligence data to help plan military operations. And this isn't exactly new for a company like Google. You might remember the internal protests over Project Maven way back in 2018. That was an AI for analyzing drone footage. Well, the protests faded, but the contracts, they only got bigger. Okay, next up, SpaceX. We all know Starlink, right? Elon Musk's big project for global internet. But it has a military twin, one you probably haven't heard of, Starshield. It's a separate, secret network built specifically for U.S. government spying and secure battlefield comms. And just to be clear, this is not some small side project. The contract with the National Reconnaissance Office is worth a staggering $1.8 billion. Turns out the dream of colonizing Mars is being heavily funded by the defense budget. Now, let's look at Microsoft. Remember HoloLens? It was sold to us as this futuristic tool for gamers and designers. Well, for the U.S. Army, it becomes IVAS, the Integrated Visual Augmentation System. It literally turns the battlefield into a video game, overlaying tactical maps, highlighting enemies, and even helping soldiers aim their weapons. And the investment here is massive. We're talking about a $22 billion contract. This isn't just an experiment. It's a fundamental change in how war is fought. It is the complete gamification of combat. Of course, none of this real-time, data-heavy warfare works without an incredibly powerful digital backbone. And that's where Amazon comes in. Way back in 2013, the CIA gave a $600 million cloud contract to Amazon Web Services. Today, that has ballooned into a $10 billion fight between Amazon and Microsoft to build the Pentagon's single, unified military cloud. And finally, there's Meta. The company has now opened its powerful Llama AI models to military agencies. And the social graphs from Facebook and Instagram, the technology designed to understand and influence our behavior, are now being used as tools for psychological operations and even for modeling the behavior of entire countries. So beyond these household names, there's a whole other layer. Think of them as the special forces of this new complex. These companies don't make apps for your phone, but their technology is radically changing the face of war. First up is Palantir, and yeah, it's named after those all-seeing stones from The Lord of the Rings. It was started with seed money from the CIA's own venture capital fund, and its entire purpose is to connect totally unrelated data, phone records, financial transactions, satellite images, to find hidden patterns for spy agencies. So how does it work in the real world? Well, in Iraq and Afghanistan, it was used to try and predict where roadside bombs might be planted. Today, in Ukraine, its software is being used for real-time artillery targeting. It is, for all intents and purposes, a predictive war machine. This quote from the source material is just chilling. It shows we're not talking about some abstract analysis here. We're talking about software that makes life or death predictions about specific people. Then you have the incredible story of Palmer Luckey. You might remember him, the guy in the Hawaiian shirt who created the Oculus VR headset. He sold it to Facebook for billions, and then he founded Anduril. His new company builds the actual hardware for this new age of war, AI-powered sentry towers and autonomous interceptor drones. And this ecosystem is just vast. You've got Scale AI, which is basically the teacher for military AI, labeling data so a drone can tell a tank from a school bus. There's Shield AI, creating pilots for drone swarms that can fly inside buildings without GPS. Clearview AI ends battlefield anonymity with facial recognition. And then there's Ghost Robotics, putting sniper rifles on the backs of robot dogs. Now, this fusion of private tech and military power isn't just a U.S. phenomenon.
Russia has its own version, but it's built on a totally different philosophy.
As Alexei Olin points out, you can think of the US model as a venture capital vacuum cleaner for innovation. It's fast, it's flexible, but it relies on commercial infrastructure that can be vulnerable. Russia's sovereign tech model? It prioritizes state control and resilience over pure speed. The whole goal is independence, making sure critical systems can't just be shut off by someone on the outside.
And they have their own key players. Tech Lab provides the facial recognition for their Safe City surveillance network. Zala Aero, which is part of Kalashnikov, makes those now infamous Lancet kamikaze drones. Bureau 1440 is building a sovereign satellite internet, and Micron is producing essential radiation-hardened microchips that you can't get through sanctions. So, after all of that, what's the big takeaway? Well, it's a pretty stark one. The very idea of purely civilian technology, it might just be over. This final quote from Olin really reframes everything. He's basically arguing that the peaceful civilian internet that many of us grew up with wasn't the norm. It was a brief historical exception. And now technology is just returning to what it's always been, a tool for power and dominance. The line has been erased. The social networks we use, the cloud services that store our photos, the AI that answers our questions, it's all dual use now. Your data, your face, and your online behavior are all part of a global system of intelligence and control. Which really just leaves us with one final thought. That gadget in your hand isn't just a window to the world, it's a terminal in a global system. And the only question left to ask is, whose system is it?